assessment now is that Russia controls 97% of Lugansk People's Republic, as it has been recognized by Russia. Now, very importantly, we have heard from the Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu saying that Russia controls the residential areas of a strategically important city, Donetsk, while the fights are still there in the industrial areas and the neighboring areas of this city. Now, he also said that over 6,000 Ukrainian military have surrendered to the Russian armed forces, but he said that in the areas that have come under the Russian control in Donbas, normal life is being restored. For example, in Mariupol, he said that the first objects of social infrastructure are now starting to operate and that the streets are now being cleared. He also said, very importantly, that the Zaporozhye power plant is now functioning properly. There are no interruptions to its work, that the 33 coal mines of the region are also operational. And he said that the Russian forces are taking under their protection the industrial objects of Ukraine so that the economic development potential of the region is preserved, which cannot be said, according to Shoigu, about the Ukrainian forces. He said they, on the contrary, seek to destroy them. What Russia would like to show, we understand that Russia has strong support from its population, with 2/3 of the population supporting what Russia describes as its special military operation in Ukraine. So it would appear that Russia is holding the drills also to flex the military muscle to the Western countries and to show and to prove them that indeed the operation is going according to the plan, as the officials here have been stating. But we understand that after 3 months of the special military operation, the Russian officials say everything is going according to the plan. They say that the goals of the special military operation will be achieved despite the supplies of more weapons to Ukraine. Moscow has indicated that this will not, quote, change the parameters of the special military operation. At the same time, Moscow has not released the information about its losses since the 25th of March. So back then, the number of those Russian soldiers whose lives have been claimed was 1,351. So since then, there was no indication of an update on this number. At the same time, Russia has focused its operation on the east of the country, saying that this is entering the second phase, and that happened in the middle of April. So far, so the assessment of the Russian government is that everything goes according to the plan, and Russia is meticulously destroying the military infrastructure of Ukraine. The announcement of more weapons supplies to Ukraine by the Western countries has been very negatively met in Russia. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has said that that means that the risks of direct confrontation between Washington and Moscow is also increasing, no matter how the United States reason these weapons supplies. He also stressed that for years the U.S. has done nothing to resolve the conflict within Ukraine, while only pumping the country up with weapons. Now, that resonates very well with the statements that we got before, that there are the so-called Western curators, as Moscow describes it, that did not allow the sides to reach an agreement, even though the talks between the two delegations from Moscow and Kyiv have come to some sort of understanding on Ukraine's non-bloc status. So this is, all in all, according to Moscow, not helping to find a diplomatic solution. According to the Kremlin, the U.S. is only proving that it is ready to fight with Moscow until the very last Ukrainian, and more weapon supplies do not help to return to the negotiating table. And we remember Moscow has accused the Ukrainian side of sabotaging the talks. Now, at the same time, the officials in Moscow say and reiterate that the goals of Russia's special military operation will be achieved. And the defense minister has previously said that more weapon supplies mean the operation will last longer, but weapons from the other countries are the legitimate target of Russia's special military operation. Numerous occasions, in fact, and in numerous statements following the telephone conversation of the Russian president with Western leaders, it has been stated that Russia is open to resume the negotiations, but it was Kyiv, according to Moscow, who sabotaged these negotiations process. At the same time, we understand now that Moscow considers the ball to be in the Ukraine's court, as it was Ukraine that halted this process and has not responded to the draft document that Moscow sent back in April. In the meantime, the operation is ongoing, and Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has indicated that it is Russia's unconditional priority to liberate, as Moscow calls it, these Donbas republics. And he also said that those territories of Ukraine that have come recently under Russia's control will have their chance to exercise their will, what sort of future they want, be it with what Moscow calls the neo-nationalists or any other
form. And Russia, in fact, has thrust forward and put forward its idea of denazifying Ukraine, condemning the strikes, the fire against the civilian infrastructure in the city of Donetsk. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said he was outraged by the very fact that the Ukrainian military have been hitting the schools in this city, leaving 5 people dead and 16 wounded, according to the local officials. And Moscow says this is exactly what Moscow is trying to avoid by its special military operation, so that there are no strikes against the civilian infrastructure. There are people who live there, they are protected, and that's why he says Moscow will pursue the goals of its special military operation as Moscow describes it.